for the mind of North America will be fought in the video arena, the Videodrome. Therefore, whatever appears on the television screen emerges as raw experience for those who watch it. Therefore, television is reality, and reality is less than television.
Why are avid film watchers so captivated by horror? Why do we love fear? Why have we loved fear for so long? Since Universal's monster classics in the 1930s, audiences around the world have been horrified, terrified, and utterly enthralled by beasts such as vampires, mummies, and zombies. Names like Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman haunted people's dreams in the 30s and the 40s. And while this trend tapered off in the 50s and 60s in favor of the sci-fi genre, movies such as The Thing from Another World, War of the Worlds, Them, Day the Earth Stood Still, and The Giant Claw. In the 70s and 80s, the boogeymen of the 30s were resurrected, but they did not carry the fancy titles like Universal's monsters. No doctors, no counts. Instead it became familiarized with names like Mike and Fred. Where Dracula and the Wolfman came from folklore, these new nightmares were a reflection of the world around us, created by a generation whose lives were turned upside down by a war.
I feel like I'm a veteran of a war, and I think we all do from that generation, whether you went to the war or not. You know, it was just, it had come home in a very strange way.
The gory stuff that I saw, you have to turn off, and I know everybody did this, you have to turn off your emotions when you see this stuff. I had a slight advantage because looking through a camera at this stuff was a separation for me, between me and the hideous. I mean, there was arms laying on the ground that exploded from grenades off Viet Cong, and I almost stepped on an arm.
The kind of peak pictures that I've made were very much my kind of reading of the current sort of psychological, social situation that I perceived in the world, in the United States in specific.
I remember reading an article in the LA Times about, I believe, Cambodian refugees. And because they were so disoriented and so, sort of out of any comfortable surroundings, the Cambodians in the Midwest were unable to wake themselves up and purge themselves of their bad dreams and their nightmares. And they were literally dying in their sleep.
It's like Mothra didn't scare me. Godzilla didn't scare me. It's people that I'm afraid of.
Here's Johnny!
One thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize is that most of the movies that they love are based on a book. Adapting books into movies is an extremely common occurrence. Some of the most famous horror movies of the 80s and the 90s are based on pre-existing works.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Others used their films as a way to speak out about the world around us, such as John Carpenter's They Live, a movie about overcapitalization and how the media pushes materialism on the people. Not all directors attempt for social commentary, or even really to scare their audience. Some directors have said they just want to entertain the audience, such as director Sam Raimi. Known for his work in horror, he said that his biggest influence was that of the Three Stooges, which is obvious in certain scenes of Evil Dead 2: Army of Darkness.
Who's laughing now?
This trend continued through the 90s, that of mixing horror with humor. Films like Child's Play, Army of Darkness, and Scream lulled their audience into a false sense of security with humor. and at times becoming something of a self-parody. Another thing that became popular in the late 90s, 2000s time period was Asian horror movies. Why? Well, let's be honest, they're scarier. And anytime Hollywood tries to remake them, it's just bad. Today, Hollywood seems to be dried up of new ideas, and now we're doing nothing but remaking old classics, and stealing or destroying foreign movies. All of the favorites from the 80s are being redone with a new coat of blood. Even Universal's monsters aren't safe from the money-hungry executives of Hollywood. I think the question is, why do we love horror movies so much? In his essay, Why We Crave Horror Movies, Stephen King said that we are all slightly insane, and that we need such imagery to exercise our more carnal side.
See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
But for me, it goes beyond just slashers. I mean, think about it. Just about every movie, it's always more fun to root for the villain. I mean, we know in the end that they're gonna lose, but they're always more memorable. Is it because of the infectious and insane laugh? I've always liked the stories where the villains are the centerpiece, and we get to witness the things that cause them to slowly descend into madness for all the blood spills. Especially in those situations where, to them, what they're doing is right, and all who oppose them deserve only death.
The world does not become a safer place. The world becomes a dangerous place, more and more so. You don't see evil and going away in human beings. You see it growing, and which is only, fuel for our fire. That's what keeps us going.